Hello, Pisces. This is your March 2019 tarot reading. And before we get started, as you watch your cards being laid out, just a small warning. Um, Mercury retrograde started March the 5th. So, communication issues, misunderstandings, canceled appointments, don't sign contracts. Just be very aware. Some of you might be having some communication issues. Having said that, what you're looking at, Pisces, are your first 9 cards for your reading. And then after the first 9, I'm going to pull one more card for an outcome. So let's look at what you have here. Let's get straight into it. Looking at the cards so far, you've got a couple of very intense cards with the swords and with the cups. And air and water. Swords represent air, cups represent emotions. So we have a lot of analyzation, thinking about things, thinking about your feelings. And it could also be the energy of your other partner. I'm really feeling that because obviously water is your energy. But the first thing I want to point out before I get to the major arcana in your center cards is pay attention to how these swords are interacting with your cups. You have a 5 of swords reversed, then you have 10 of cups, then you have a 10 of swords. And then here, as we move into the bulk of March, you have these cups here, Knight of Cups, 7 of Cups, and then 2 of Pentacles. So water and earth, very good. But then here in your future, yeah, very, very intense. And you have that Page of Swords here. Page of Swords are always looking for the truth, confronting lies and gossip. Sometimes it can mean a need to have a very serious discussion or getting some type of news or event or something that tells you the truth. You know, that's usually what the Page of Swords is about, cutting through obstacles and the BS. So these swords are giving me a lot of anxiety from your partner. Your water energy, clearly very strong from the past and present. But you also have a little bit of fire. You know, you only have one card with 2 of Pentacles, which tells me a lot, which I'll get to. But just knowing that you have these cards in your future, you have a Queen of Wands reversed, and then you also have Death, which is reversed. Death is a very, very strong major arcana card, and it happens to be the only card, a major, in your spread. So lots of anxiety about feelings, especially seeing that this is about a month out from Valentine's Day. And I think I told you last month, a lot of this will, a lot of emotional ups and downs for you, reevaluating how you feel about someone, how this other person feels about you, this energy that you bring, this emotional energy, this safety net, this comfort, this very emotional, sexual energy that you bring that makes people just emotionally attached to you. But sometimes it's very easy for your partner or your love interest to just help themselves to your love and your emotions and your outpouring of affection, and then just run away like, oops, I've had enough. So some of what I'm seeing here in your spread, when we look here in the past influences, yes, 5 of Swords is reversed. When a 5 of Swords is reversed, we have a big blow to the ego, lots of insecurities. Sometimes it can mean someone's holding on to grudges. Then we have a 10 of Cups here. For some of you, this could mean a marriage or a home. And these swords on either side, you have a 10 of Swords here. And that's the hitting rock bottom card. It means that things are about as bad as they can be. So we're coming into the month of March with a lot of emotional walls, a lot of emotional obstacles that some of you Pisces are trying to work out in a relationship. But when you get all of these swords surrounding the cups, when you get all of this air, which is about communication and thinking, and it's kind of dysfunctional, it's kind of negative, and it's surrounding that Ten of Cups, then yes, some of you have been dealing with a lot of misunderstandings and arguments, okay, on various levels in various situations. So also I want to point out here, you've got two tens. 10 is a very significant number because 10 means it's all blowing over soon, okay, and you're going to start a new cycle. So when I look at this Ten of Swords next to the Ten of Cups, trouble in the home, as I said, maybe some of you had a big argument, especially with Mercury retrograde, then yes, things are about to settle down. Things are about to blow over. Things are about to get settled. And then you move out of that negative energy and you start a new cycle. But one of the things I want to point out is that Seven of Cups. And of course, it's associated with your feelings and emotion and love. And it's the procrastination card. Sometimes it means you have to select one of those cups. You have to make an emotional decision. You can't put it off any longer. And I think a lot of you Pisces people are probably dealing with a very big crossroads in your life, because you're like, what should I do? Should I let this person go? This last argument we had was really bad. I don't know emotionally how long I can put up with this, or if I want to put up with this. So some of you Pisces might be in a situation after the big fallout, or after all the afterglow of Valentine's Day. You have that Seven of Cups here. You're making a new decision about the relationship. I also want to point out those Two of Pentacles there, juggling two things, juggling two relationships, okay? Staying busy, because of course you notice that this young boy, his back is turned toward the water. So again, turning away from emotions, there might be some emotional obstacles, emotional blocks. Your partner or love interest might be very distracted. I'll get back to you. They don't get back to you soon enough, or they don't get back to you at all. They're all, oh, I can't make it this weekend. We can't go out because I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing the other. Okay, so just take note of these three cards here. The Knight of Cups, approaching, bringing love. You're approaching that crossroads. And then the energy of the other person is, I'm so busy, I'm so busy, I'm so busy. So when we get here to the future, watch out, because then you have that Queen of Wands reversed. And whenever fire's reversed, there's chaos. Straight up misunderstandings, more impatience. Yes, more arguments, because fire kind of ignites air, but fire brings change as well. And some of that change could be people getting irritated, people being control freaks. And once again, I think this is just a part of Mercury retrograde. So we have death in reverse. Usually when death is not reversed, you guys know it means the complete ending of something. Like it's settled, it's done, things have changed, and they're not going back. So I also think it's interesting that, death brings its own fire, its own energy. And you have it next to the Queen of Wands. They're both reversed. So I feel like this is sort of like a heads up from the Oracle telling you there are going to be lots of misunderstandings. There are going to be things that are going to be changed in a sort of like a very chaotic way. But then you do have this Page of Swords here. That Page of Swords, once again, it's about having courage, not being afraid of anything, confronting obstacles, confronting issues, confronting enemies head on. And so I feel like in the future, in the next few weeks, some of you Pisces, even though emotionally you want to back off from it, the Oracle is giving you a heads up that this obstacle in the relationship, you will not be able to avoid it, okay? But taking on board that the next couple weeks will be Mercury retrograde, you need to pull your emotions back. And so maybe that Two of Pentacles is actually for you. Your partner or love interest might be confrontational, like don't get on me, don't nag me, don't do anything. Emotionally, you want to reach out to that person, you want to be with them. You know, you're really in your feelings this month, Pisces, but the other partner is like emotionally backing off, or as I said, just getting very defensive about the relationship. So it would probably be a good idea just to pull back, okay, for a little bit, and not look for the fight, and don't be focused on being right, because you also have that Five of Swords reversed too. So those reversals are important. Five of Swords is reversed. Like I said, defensive, really heated argument. Blow to the ego. You have that Ten of Swords where things just go from bad to worse. You have a Page of Swords where there's an attempt for you two to talk and work it out. But your outcome card that was just laid out there, it is a Three of Swords. Doesn't mean breakup. Doesn't mean necessarily anything devastating. But that Three of Swords will mean that maybe you get an answer. You know, some of you might be getting an excuse from your partner, or let's take a break, let's have some space. So what's happening for you this month is a little bit of disappointment that the person that you're in love with, that you care about, they're not giving you as much emotional sustenance. They've sort of pulled back, they've put up walls, and they're pushing you out. So that's one way of looking at that Three of Swords, that some of your partners, you might have spent a wonderful Valentine's Day being with them and emotionally connecting. And then for some of you, all of a sudden these arguments are happening. Your partner is resisting. Some of you might be experiencing your partner simply resisting a more serious relationship. They might be spooked. They might not be ready. And I kind of talked about that in February's reading as well. I would suggest just it'll blow over, okay, especially when Mercury retrograde ends. But don't let this take you out of your emotional comfort zone. I think this will be the time where you emotionally sort of protect yourself, keep your own counsel, and avoid direct confrontations. And if your love interest wants to back off and say, oh, I'm not sure if I'm ready, and you know, they get spooked, don't let it be emotionally devastating, because this is sort of like a bit of ebb and flow. Okay? So, having said that, just relax. It'll all turn out okay. That's your reading. Thank you so much for being patient. Thank you for your support. And I hope to do a super chat with you all next Friday, where I can give free readings and get to talk to some of my subscribers, so stay tuned for that. I wish you love and light, and as always, I will see you next month.